That sounds like CAS. I'm just gonna back away slowly from those T-34s. It should probably be far enough. Maybe peek around the corner. No, it's probably too dangerous. Yep, yep. We made the right decision. Man, everybody keeps dying before I can kill them. It just ain't right. I got an 88. I want to use it. Oh, dun dun. Dun 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 Geronimos! Well, that was honestly disappointing. No, don't look at me. Don't shoot me. Don't notice me, senpai. Please, I have children. Ah, you're so. That's fine. It's not a kill steal. Justice falls from the sky. I mean, pour one out for Speedy Boy. Hello lads and ladies, welcome back to toshiothunder channel and welcome to the real true Tiger. This is the Tiger-chan Heavy Tank number 6, and this is, I mean, wouldn't you love to see this skin in the game? I hear that Toshio 1987 guy is a really active custom camo maker, and this skin doesn't have any copyrighted content in it, so yeah. I've also heard that Toshio guy likes all of the market gaijin coins. Yes, buy my skins, please. But for realsies, I just love the look of this thing, and I can't stand like driving out a beautiful vehicle with an ugly camouflage. And man, oh man, yeah, sorry guys, I'm getting distracted. Cutie alert, we got the tank baby over here with me, and I guess stuff is happening in the video, but I gotta do some dad stuff here real quick. I give her a graham cracker, a little Grammy bear, and she'll bite a piece off of it and get it nice and moist in her little baby teeth, and then she goes and just spits crumbs everywhere instead of eating. So that's a thing. Die! He did not follow instructions. That was Jumbo. I wish I'd taken the time to notice that, but now we get to face off against the old king of the forest. And you know what? The old Jum Bear, she's a tough one to deal with. It's a grisly scene when you face one of these head on. But we track him, and that pretty much declaws him. He's going to have a really hard time punching through any part of my armor. Land an 88 round right onto the corner of his cannon barrel, and it did absolutely nothing, which is just ridiculous. Yeah, that would have peeled that cannon like a banana. So I've noticed that about the Jumbo's barrel. Very difficult to take out from the front. But c'est la vie. Write into your local congressman about that Russian bias. But wait, premium bias, comrade. No, the Jumbo's pretty good, but it's pretty easy to take down. It was just in a perfect position against me, and it still couldn't do anything, which sort of highlights the whole battle rating system. The Jumbo's at what, like a 4.7. So he's in a max up tier against the Tiger, and it shows. Then when I, in my Tiger age, am in, or is it Tiger E? Yeah, whatever. Tiger 1. When I'm in an up tier and I'm up against 6.7s, that's pretty painful. You know, the 6.7 British, very capable. Oddly enough, T44 100s, or the standard T44 with the 85mm cannon, I get matches against them, and they're very tricky opponents. But what can we say? Welcome back to the channel, guys. It really is good to see you. I feel like I've been off of my usual videos for a while now. I wanted to get back into tanks, and what better vehicle to inaugurate my glorious return to the ground than with the Tiger-chan Tiger. I really do. And hello, Speedy Boy. If you just would stayed behind me, you would have been fine, but you didn't, did ya? Did ya? You did a dumb. He could have finished me off, but I guess he was trying to juggle us. But that's what happens when you try and balance two of these girls at the same time. One of them's gonna turn and burn you. But what? I gave you a cookie. My baby's a little bit bratty today. Yes, you just want all of Dada's attention. Yeah, you want all of Dada's attention. So, sorry guys if I'm not paying attention to what's going on, but you can see what we're doing. We're being the old roadblock, which is what the Tiger 1 is good at. You angle that frontal armor, and we did to the best of our ability, but we're a little bit stuck right now. When you angle that frontal plate and then rely on your big scary gun to keep people from aiming too long at the weak spots in your turret, especially your turret ring, by the way, then you can do fairly well. The Tiger is what I would call a defensive tank. So here we get a nice shot into the backside of another Sherman Jumbo, it appears. And another thing about the Jumbo is they're booty strong as well. The backside of the turret is really tough to pen, so we try to get one in the engine grate just above the engine so we can blast into the crew compartment. But that didn't work. It bounced, obviously. This time we get our shot to fragment above the engine block, and the massive number of spalling fragments just shredded the crew. Very nicely done. The Panzergranate round for the Tigers that was introduced with this tank and exclusively for this tank for a while. That was fun. Really helps out this beast to perform as sort of a doom cannon. If you do manage, and hello Sherman, I see you, and he's got to see me, right? And I'm thinking about going for this shot here. But if I do, by the time I reload, he could probably climb the hill and threaten me, so things that make you, well, we do what we can. We mark the map for our teammates and hope that he gets flanked, and he's just happy to sit right here and sit right there and wait for a minute. I'll tell you how I became the Prince of Bel-Air. I'm so cool. I got all the memes, boys. So I've been watching too much Tommy the Thompson lately. Jengar and Tommy have been showing me how to fly the Kika, and spoiler alert, the Kika is trash. It actually performs worse than the Heinkel 219 or Heinkel 162 Salamander single engine jet Wunderwaffe of the German air arm. But the Japanese Kika is like a miniature ME-262 with actually a good gun, and then eventually two good guns with not enough ammunition. 50 rounds. 50 rounds. But the performance is the issue. It's a jet fighter that can literally barely get off of the runway. In fact, even doing everything right, if you are carrying the bomb, there's certain runways where you will just die. So don't carry the bomb, don't fly the Kika, don't expect it to be good. You side climb, get up to altitude, dive on a P-51 H, and then he just turns and evaporates you. Or you try and keep your energy and he follows you into the vertical and destroys you with American 50 cals. You ain't gonna have a good time. But you can kill B-29s, which is pretty fun, and it only takes about 10 minutes to get up to their altitude, so by then they've dropped their bombs and they're on a coffee break away from their keyboard anyway. So good way to do things in the Kika. What, you thought I was talking about the Tiger? So that's what I've been up to, just flying Japanese planes that don't do anything for me, but sometimes, you know, you just gotta challenge yourself. And so I wanted to get back in touch with my wild side. I do have the coupon for the Animal Tiger, but I'm holding on to it because I know that the market economics are going to change, and it's probably going to double in value in the next month or so. So maybe I could hold on to it and harvest some Gaijin coins. We'll have to see. But moving on, you see that the Tiger 1 does have a decent amount of mobility, and that's something I like about it. But as soon as you have to traverse the hull, you lose all of your speed. So the thing does handle pretty smoothly. It feels good to drive. And that's one of the things that I like about this tank. I didn't actually play the Tiger 1 very much until I got the heavy tank number 6, and I really fell in love with it then. And power creep is a thing. You can hear Nipalm Ratha talk about that all the time, but basically every time a new vehicle is introduced into the game, there's just a little bit, that new vehicle is often just a little bit more powerful than what has been at that tier in the past. And a perfect example of this is the Tiger 1. It used to be at the top, but now in a 5.7 there are some vehicles that can really make life difficult for it. And speaking of, oh my gosh, I can't believe we donked that shot, but look at this oblivious speedy boy. He doesn't even know. He doesn't even notice, so we're going to put one into his rear and really hope now that he doesn't. Oh goodness, he's noticed us. I don't know what that jump was. So he gets to take a shot at us, bounces off the angled frontal plate. That was bad aiming on his part. And we put one right through the gun mantlet, wiping out everything inside of the tank. Very satisfying. We almost really made a fool out of ourselves there, but luckily, well, he just didn't take the time to aim carefully at the Tiger's very well-known weak spots, and I think we were just about perfectly angled there. So that's something I could mention about the Tiger. You really want to angle your hull appropriately, and that's going to be impossible if you're engaging multiple enemies at the same time. So another thing with that is to not expose any more of your tank than you need to. Corner peeking is very effective in the Tiger, especially if you have a rock to cover, you know, say half of your turret, and then you just peek that little nose out and only show them the diamond front plate of your hull, and life can be fairly good. But you'll still face things like the British 17-pounder, the British 20, what is it, 21, 20, yeah, I'm gonna go 21-pounder. Those things can punch right through the strongest part of your frontal turret, so that is the life you live. It's just a trade-off. The Tiger used to be a heavy tank, now it has basically the mobility of a heavy. It's probably even a little bit slower than a KV-1, but it has the armor of, let's say, a pretty good medium tank. Strong in some places, but overall unreliable except in certain circumstances, and that's one of those things that makes the Tiger tank, honestly, a fun tank to play. You're going to have those matches where it's difficult to perform in your desired role, which is a defensive, long-range, derp everything inside of their vehicle tank, and you're going to miss the days where, you know, you had a bunch of regular M4 Shermans to shoot at. But you know what? That is another day, that is another meta, and now you sort of get to choose between being a heavy tank with a gun that doesn't quite have the penetration that it needs to perform as a heavy tank, or a slow medium tank with a really mean gun for side and rear shots. The explosive effect of the APHE on the Tiger is truly delightful. So with that, we're just flanking around the map, and our team has sort of evaporated, which is, well, that's a thing. It's a thing that, oh my goodness, there's somebody behind us. Can you believe that we got the little bit of paranoia there, and we looked back just at the right moment to see that enemy? It looks like a 76 or 75 Sherman. This is going to be a challenge. He puts one straight through the front of our vehicle, and that's the end of the mission for us. But overall, 4 kills and 1 assist, not bad for a rusty Tiger pilot like myself. Like I was saying, I haven't been playing ground forces very much lately, so let's bring you on in to the next match. Here's some cinematic intro stuff. Doesn't that look great? Did I mention this is an arcade match? And by the way, sorry for the replay. But I wanted to get some in-game audio for you guys, and it's been a while since I recorded using the replay system, so I'm still trying things. And this is a great segue. This is going to be a pretty good match, but again, it's arcade, and I know a lot of you guys are really good at arcade. So why don't you send me your replays? And it doesn't have to be any particular thing. I'll commentary on Air RB, even Air Arcade. I'm sure there's some people that still like that. Jengar does, after all. And Tank Arcade, Tank RB, I don't mind. You got an epic match, you want to share it with the world. Let me be the voice and the hand that makes you famous, right? So you don't have to yell at mom, get the camera. You can just send your wrpl file to me at toshiothunder@gmail.com. toshiothunder@gmail.com. Link in the description, or I guess just whatever. You'll see my address there. Moving on. So once again, this is our strategy with the Tiger. Get into a good defensible position and make the enemy suffer. And one of the things about this vehicle is the suspension is a bit weebly wobbly, so you saw how the cannon barrel ticked up there just at the last second. We also probably weren't given quite enough lead on that shot, but you know what? Those are things to think about in the post-production. In the heat of the moment, you just got to get a feel for the gun. And that's what we're doing. That's the reason we're playing arcade right now, is we're getting a feel for our vehicle, getting some nice shots in, and overall just having a good time. Something I've noticed about this particular tank is you don't quite get the rewards that you're hoping for, and I think that's a lot an aspect of ground forces in general. Rewards are a little bit stingy. I get a lot more silver lions in RP in the air, and I know that's not just me, so hey Gaijin, quit being so stingy. When I'm not running a premium account, I just yeah, Tank Baby. Yeah, okay, just a second. Tank Baby is hungry and she wants my attention. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, she's got a bottle. She's in the crib. Cross your fingers, guys. Hopefully she'll take a nap. And speaking of cross your fingers, can we get just a bit too high to get the weak spot in the side armor on the Tiger? In case you didn't know, you want to shoot it just above the track on the side if he's angled, and that's your ticket for taking him down. Let's see if we can line it up just carefully. That is nice. One of my favorite things about driving Tiger in arcade is taking down other Tigers and taking on other Tigers. A Tiger P, very difficult foe to face. It has a little bit more of a weak spot on the turret ring than your production model Tigers, but very, very strong frontal armor. If you practice the same tactics of angling your armor appropriately and finding a nice little rock to hide your sides, then you can really profit in the Tiger P. But somebody got a shot into our transmission and our driver is down, so we had to use that nice handy arcade mechanic of crew replenishment and last man standing. Of course that wouldn't work in RB, but you know what? This is a different monster. So we're hurting. We got a long reload now on our short 88, and our days are numbered, I am sure. But just look at that beautiful camouflage. This is a good looking vehicle. It really is one of my favorite custom camos in the game, made by a brilliant, talented, and very attractive artist called Toshio1987, and so I decided to fly out on a bomber. This is a B-25, which I know has very good defensive guns. Sorry, B-24, which I know has very good defensive guns. You've got double to 50s in the tail, on a turret on the top, and a ball in the bottom. So pretty much no matter where someone is while they're behind you, they got 4 50s shooting at them. We managed to pilot snipe the one guy and shred to pieces the second. And you can see that we're manually using the defensive gunners here, and we're also using keyboard controls to maneuver the plane. We've taken too much damage to recover from that dive, so we ditched the bombs, and unfortunately we're not going to get anything out of that other than 2 aircraft kills, which is always a nice little thing to add on to your stat card. And well, that's the arcade experience, isn't it? Now here we're setting up our armor angling before we come around this corner and only exposing ourselves the least amount possible, because again the Tiger does have weak side armor in the area of its tracks, and that's a well-known weak spot. Best way to one-shot the Tiger is to get in between those tracks. And here you see an IS-1 who is being very cautious. He's carefuling pretty hard now, and the frontal armor of the IS-1 is very difficult to get through, especially if he's hiding those weaker angles on his flanks. And can we get the turret shot? No, he's still carefuling. He's being very cautious here. So we just decide to immobilize him once he's backed behind that rock, and well, see if we can deal with his comrade. In the end, we've gotten a good amount of kills. We've done a good amount of damage with our Tiger. Our team is winning, so life is good. Survivability on this can be very good when you're facing 5.7s, and that's another reason to try this vehicle in arcade. You don't get up-tiered quite so badly or quite so often because there's a larger pool of vehicles to draw from, and with the great popularity of the Tiger even to this day, it's a pretty fun one to play. And if you haven't tried playing the Tiger, I recommend you give it a try. Here you can see a good angle of us from that defensive position, only showing the strongest parts of our armor at a good angle. A very difficult spot to dig the Tiger out of once you're dug in like that. But well, if there was a KV2 or some other beast, one of those good penetration British guns, you could make life difficult for us, but we also have a pretty good gun. So all in all, the Tiger is still a heavy tank that can perform as a heavy under the right circumstances, and that's something that makes it fun to play. And then it has just enough mobility to where you can play as a medium flanker, if you will, in the mode of a medium tank, and the gun does not disappoint. If anything, you want just a little bit better armor penetration, but you still have a very good gun with really capable ability to one-shot enemy tanks and a decent reload. So it's almost like, well, it's almost like a KV2. The first one to shoot wins, except that you have a much better reload. The stubby 88 on this tank, and it's not stubby, but it's short compared to the long 88, is comparable to the 85mm D5T gun on the T-34-85, but of course you are a heavy tank and you can use that to your advantage, and the enemy can make you pay for that in your lack of mobility. All in all, this is not a new tank to anybody. I don't know why I've really gone over the stats and details of it this much, other than it's a refreshing tank to play. It really helped me to break the mood from flying out the Kika a few times. I really did try to give that plane a chance, and it apparently can perform in arcade, but I mean, jets in arcade against props have even more trouble than they do in RB. And well, I got a few B-29 kills, those were fun. Now we see an enemy very much noticing Senpai from the other side of that rock, and I kinda want my team to engage him before I peek out, because this isn't the best position for me, and I think that before that happens the match is gonna end. So guys, it's been a pleasure, nice getting back on the ground. Catch you in the next one. Bye bye.